Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us for the Rhode Island 2020 Young Leader Award ceremony. This school year has been extraordinarily difficult for students, teachers, and families, and it's appropriate that we recognize our students for their hard work. Like so many other things, this year's virtual ceremony is different, and it has required flexibility from both students and their teachers. The students we honor tonight have been nominated by a teacher or administrator at their school for achievement in business-related courses, along with leadership skills and commitment to their community. Following Treasurer Magaziner's remarks, we will take a moment to recognize each of the students that have joined us for today's ceremony. After the ceremony, we'll open the floor for questions with the Treasurer. You can ask your questions at any time by typing them into the questions box in the menu on the right-hand side of your screen. Treasurer Magaziner?
Thank you, Leanne, and good evening, everybody. This is always one of my favorite nights of the year, and even though it's a little different this year, I'm still very excited. The purpose of this event is to honor the accomplishments of high school juniors from 50 schools across Rhode Island with the Treasurer's 2020 Young Leader Award, which recognizes those students who achieve academic excellence, particularly in the fields of finance, business, or economics, while also making a positive impact in their community. Each of you being honored tonight, your backgrounds, your strengths, your interests, they vary, but they all commonly are very impressive and show, I think, tremendous potential. As a group, you represent the best and the brightest of Rhode Island, and your commitment to your own education as well as to the community is absolutely essential to the future of our state. As Leanne alluded to, no generation of students in recent history, at least, has dealt with the same kind of challenges that young people today are facing. We are in the middle of a pandemic, in the middle of a recession, in the middle of a transition to remote learning, and also in the middle of some very important and also very challenging discussions about issues of race and justice in our country. Through all of that, you have shown yourselves to truly stand out and to be exceptional, not only in the classroom, but just as importantly outside the classroom as positive agents for change in your community. So although these are challenging times, I also think that these are very hopeful times. And what gives me hope most of all is all of you, reading through your biographies, learning about you, and seeing the tremendous leadership potential that you all have as you prepare to enter your senior years and beyond. This award is unusual in a way because we do focus on high school juniors as opposed to high school seniors, as many awards do. And that's very purposeful on our part. It's because we want this award to be useful to each of you as part of your resumes as you go into your senior year and start applying for college or for whatever your future goals beyond high school may be. I want to take a moment and recognize and thank the teams that each of you have around you that helped you to achieve this honor. The parents, the grandparents, the foster families, all those people who have been supportive of each of our honorees. Thank you for the role that you have played in raising such excellent and promising young citizens. I'm also a former school teacher, a former teacher myself, and so I want to take a moment to thank and recognize the teachers, many of whom I know are also watching tonight. Teachers, your work is important and challenging in normal times, but this year in particular. And thanks to you, Rhode Island is widely recognized now as being the national leader in coping with this transition to distance learning. We have done much better than almost any other state in making this transition, as imperfect as it may be. But the reason that we have been so successful compared to other states in making this transition is in large part because of the tremendous efforts of our educators. Although each of this year's award recipients are still young, I view each of you as a partner in the effort to make Rhode Island an even better place to live and to work and to learn. I encourage each of you to find opportunities to mentor younger students so that they can learn from your example. And I encourage each of you to keep up your good work in the classroom and to remain active and engaged in your community, both through high school and beyond. With this financial education that you all have embarked on, you can enter any number of different career paths. Some of you will go on to the private sector and go into business or banking or finance. Some of you will choose to work in the nonprofit or social sectors. Others of you may pursue a career in government. But I would just say, no matter which profession you choose, even if it is a profession in the business world or in the private sector, you have the opportunity to use your financial skills for good and to help people and to make the community a better place. So I hope that as you continue in your education and beyond, you will be mindful of thinking about ways that you can use your math and economic skills to help make your community stronger and make the world a better place. One area of focus for me as state treasurer has been to promote financial education across the state. And we are working very closely with the Education Commissioner on finally making personal finance education universal so that all students across Rhode Island can have access to financial education, which is so vitally important. So I'll stop there and I'll just say, once again, congratulations to the parents, the families, the foster families, the educators, but most of all, the students. You earned this. We are all here watching tonight because we believe in you, and we are confident that you can go on and do really impressive things, and we look forward to being partners with you in that journey. Although this year's ceremony can't be in person, that also gives us an opportunity to have a conversation at the end in a way that would be harder to do if we were doing it in person. So I look forward to having a conversation with all of you after the ceremony. But before we get to that, Leanne is going to officially name each of our award recipients and list some of the accomplishments on your resume that caused your teachers, the people who know you in school the best, to choose each of you to be this year's 2020 Young Leader Award winner for your school. So once again, congratulations, great job, and we are very excited to see what you go on to do next. I'll turn it back over to Leanne now to continue the ceremony.
Thanks, Treasurer. Getting excited to honor all of the students that we are presenting this award to tonight. We're starting with Alexandra Maddox Mark. Alexandra, or Zan, is a junior at Barrington High School, where she is the anchor of the school's morning news program. Her positive attitude, responsible nature, skill set, and dedication to academics is what her teachers say sets her apart from her peers. Zan has been nominated in recognition of her tremendous character, high ambition, and dedication to all her endeavors. Next up is Sean Martin. Sean is a junior at Coventry High School, where he was part of the Junior Achievement Be Entrepreneurial program, with a focus on business ethics and competitive advantage. Sean has been nominated in recognition of his superb analytical skills, particularly in the field of sports and entertainment marketing. Next, we celebrate Amber Paquette. Amber is a junior at Cranston Area Career and Technical Center. As a member of her school's entrepreneurship program and at the Rhode Island State DECA competitions, she has consistently demonstrated her business acumen, having received bronze and silver medals. Amber has been nominated in recognition of her distinguished record of academic achievement, varsity athletics, extracurricular leadership, and community leadership. Next up is Mia Martinez. Mia is a junior at the NEL CPS Construction Career Academy in Cranston. She started a campaign at her school to create a library, which now has over 1,100 books. Mia has been nominated in recognition of her hard work, vision, and tenacity. Juliet Efemer is a junior at Cumberland High School who excelled in the New York Times Summer Reading Essay Contest. She is also a member of her school's soccer team. Juliet has been nominated in recognition of her outstanding abilities and academic performance, particularly in the field of math. Jack Gesowich is a junior at East Greenwich High School. He earned first place rankings in the Rhode Island Cyber Patriot competition for the last 3 consecutive years. He was also honored by the Securities Industry and Financial Markets Association at the Boston Federal Reserve for placing first statewide in the 2018 InvestRight competition. Jack has been nominated in recognition of his work ethic, keen intellect, unbridled enthusiasm, and entrepreneurial talent. Makayla Pollock is a junior at the Green School in West Greenwich. She's an active CSI member and recently completed an internship at Planned Parenthood. Makayla was nominated in recognition of her outstanding commitment to community service and leadership. Next up is Brooklyn Casta. Brooklyn is a junior at East Providence High School, where she is ranked in the top 5% of her class. She is a camp counselor, Sunday school teacher, member of the school's concert and marching band, and a musical honor society. Brooklyn has been nominated in recognition of her excellent grades and desire to pursue a math-related degree. Emily Jetset is a junior at Exeter West Greenwich High School. She's a member of several athletic teams, including the state championship winning ice hockey team. Emily has been nominated in recognition of her being not only a great team member, but also a leader and a role model. Nicholas Petrillo is a junior at Johnston Senior High School. He is the president of the school student council, member of the National Honor Society, and Students Against Dangerous Decisions. He is being nominated because of his outstanding math skills and his academic achievement. Next up, we celebrate Syed Shah. Syed is a junior at Lincoln High School. He's a member of the Future Business Leaders of America. He is also the school representative to the Rhode Island Department of Education. Syed has been nominated in recognition of his proficiency in business-related courses. Next is Sofia Petrova. Sofia is a junior at St. George's School in Newport. She is the head of school's finance and entrepreneurial She is the head of the school's finance and entrepreneurship club, captain of the varsity cross country team, and a peer tutor in several subjects, including math. She has a small business, ZS Bars, making hypoallergenic nutrition bars for kids. Sofia has been nominated because of her outstanding achievement and success. William Farley is a junior at Rogers High School in Newport. In 2019, along with 2 fellow sophomore business partners, William opened Viking Hot Dog Cart. William is being nominated for his contribution to Rhode Island's small business community. Next, we have Allie C. Cosentino. Allie is a junior at North Kingstown Senior High School. She's a DECA Business Club officer, Community Service Club member, Student Council Vice President, and the president and co-founder of the school's Students in STEM Club. Allie has been nominated in recognition of math skills and commitment to her high school community. Next, we have Victoria Silva. Victoria is a junior at St. Raphael Academy. She is a member of the school's math team, mock trial, Future Business Leaders of America, secretary of the Student Council, and a legislative leader in her school's model legislature. Victoria has been nominated in recognition of her academic excellence and commitment to community service. Next, we celebrate Melanie Cuevas. Melanie is a junior at Charles E. Shea High School in Pawtucket. She's a member of the National Honor Society and the National Society of High School Scholars. Melanie has been nominated in recognition of her ongoing commitment to her education and positive representation of her school. Anantha Conti is a junior at William E. Tolman Senior High School in Pawtucket. She's a member of the Tolman Marketing and Management Academy, Tolman DECA team, Tolman Student Council, captain of the Tolman swim team. Anantha has been nominated for her academic achievement and her leadership skills. Ashley DeLeon is a junior at the Academy for Career Exploration in Providence. While excelling in school, she also volunteers her time as a community service worker and youth assistant teacher at her church. Ashley has been nominated in recognition of her demonstrated excellence both inside and outside of the classroom. Joelle Alvarez is a junior at Dr. Jorge Alvarez High School. She's a member of the Alvarez Business Club, Junior Council, and debate team. Joelle has been nominated in recognition of her commitment to excellence both in and out of the classroom. Samuel Gerhart is a junior at LaSalle Academy. He's a member of the school's National Honor Society chapter, Robotics Club, Rhode Island Philharmonic Music School, Jazz Combo, Boy Scouts of America. A volunteer in the Vintage Radio and Communications Museum of Connecticut, he has since opened his own small business repairing vintage radios. Samuel was nominated in recognition of his strong academic standing and entrepreneurial spirit. Next, we celebrate Madison Robinson Fu. Madison is a junior at the Rhode Island Nursing Institute in Providence. She's a member of the National Honor Society, RINI Student Planners, Leaders and Teachers, and the Girl Scouts of America. Madison has been nominated in recognition of her leadership, academic performance, and commitment to serving others. Sara Gifford is a junior at Moses Brown in Providence. She is captain of the state championship winning girls varsity soccer team. She excelled in the Economics of Social Innovations course, and an app she created called Apple Wash was entered into the debut of the Rhode Island Venture Cafe. Sara was nominated in recognition of her strong academics and leadership skills. Next, we have Cassandra Simpson. Cassandra is a junior at Charahoe Regional High School in Richmond. She's also a member of her class council, the school student advisory board, and is currently working towards her gold award in Girl Scouts. Cassandra has been nominated in recognition of her commitment to excellence. Next, we have Dominic Lahar. Dominic is a junior at Scituate High School. He is secretary of the student council, founder and president of the school's social justice club, RISD Art Circle member, DECA member, and a private mathematics tutor. Dominic has been nominated in recognition of his dedication to math and teaching. Next, we have Jessica Balcom. Jessica is a junior at Smithfield High School. She is a valued member of the school's varsity, basketball, and field hockey teams. Jessica has been nominated in recognition of her outstanding math and leadership skills. Next, we have Madeline McCarthy. Madeline is a junior at South Kingstown High School. After studying abroad in the American Overseas Program of Rome, she returned home to Rhode Island and started a small baking business, Ambrosia. Madeline is now an expert in social media marketing and uses those skills to teach others. Madeline has been nominated in recognition of her considerable contributions to her school, community, and as an entrepreneur. Drew Brouilette is a junior at the Prout School in Wakefield. He is an officer in the Teen Spirit Leadership Conference and a member of several athletic teams. Drew has his own landscaping business and has been nominated in recognition of his entrepreneurial skills. Spencer Wood is a junior at Bishop Hendricken High School in Warwick. He's the school's treasurer, president of the school's DECA chapter, and president of the state DECA chapter. Spencer has been nominated in recognition of his outstanding commitment to excellence in his academics and his leadership skills. Jason Lee is a junior at West Warwick High School. He is a dedicated and tenacious student. Jason's teacher nominated him for the Young Leader Award because of his hard work and commitment to achieving success. Talia Fernandez is a junior at Mount St. Charles Academy in Woonsocket. She's a tri-sport athlete playing on soccer, basketball, and softball teams. She's also a member of the National Honor Society and her school's campus ministry program. Talia has been nominated in recognition of her being hardworking, well-rounded, and very successful student who is deeply committed to her education. Lena Fee is a junior at Woonsocket Area Career and Technical Center. Lena is a public relations officer for the National Honor Society class of 2021. She placed 5th in the National Future Business Leaders of America competition in healthcare administration and cybersecurity. Lena has been nominated in recognition of her extraordinary academic performance, leadership skills, and what her teachers describe as a heart of gold. And finally, we celebrate Alisa Lemire. Alisa is a junior at Woonsocket High School, where she's an active member of the school's theater program. Alisa is also a member of the Future Business Leaders of America. She's being nominated in recognition of her academic rigor and consistently high GPA. Those are our awardees.
Congratulations once again to all of you. I think you can see it is an extremely impressive group, and each one of you is in good company because every single one of our honorees has accomplished a tremendous amount, even at a young age. So this is just very exciting and very impressive. So congratulations once again to each of you. At this point, we are going to open it up, and I am happy to take questions and to have conversation with the group. I'm happy to talk about some of our work in the Treasury and what we do for the state. I'm happy to try to give advice to those of you who are considering different career paths. Don't ask me for stock tips. I'm not going to do that. But if you have general questions about financial issues, I'm certainly happy to have those conversations as well. So, you know, I think we want this to be conversational. And as Leanne mentioned earlier, each of you should have a box to the corner of your screen. If you could just enter your questions in there, and also who you are, your name, and where you're from, and we're happy to have a conversation.
Treasurer, we already have some questions coming in, so we can get started.
Well, I can't see them, so they're...
I'm going to read them to you.
You need to read them to me. Okay, thank you.
So the first question we got is, what got you into government and politics?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So, you know, I'll tell you very honestly, because it actually relates a lot to this moment that we're in right now. As I mentioned earlier, I started out my career as a school teacher, and I actually taught in Louisiana. I had grown up in Rhode Island. I grew up in Bristol. I grew up in Rhode Island. I went to school in Rhode Island. I graduated from college in Rhode Island. And after I graduated college, I just wanted to try somewhere else, just to see the world. And I ended up getting a job out in Louisiana teaching elementary school. And the school district that I taught in was, you know, it was a lower income school district. It was a very diverse school district, predominantly African American, and frankly, it was a school district that was still segregated. There was an open desegregation lawsuit that the federal government had against our school district in Louisiana because the district wasn't taking adequate steps to integrate its schools. I taught at a school that was predominantly African American, the students and the teachers, and we did not have the same kind of resources that the mostly white school down the street did. And these were all in the same public school system, by the way. But we didn't have, you know, our building was in worse shape, our textbooks were older, our facility, you know, our materials, you know, we were always running out. And even in our high school library, I still remember the library still had the stamps in the books from the other school because our school had the hand-me-down books from the other school. And this was, you know, this was in 2006 and 7 and 8. This wasn't the 1950s. And, you know, I enjoyed being a teacher, but the more time I spent there, the more I realized that I wanted to be in a position to push for bigger, broader, more systemic change. The other thing that happened while I was down there, again, this was 2006, 7, 8, was that similar to now, the country was entering a recession. And I saw the impact that that had on the lives of my students and their parents. You know, a lot of my students, you know, their parents lost their jobs. their businesses closed down. A lot of my students had to leave school and transfer to other schools because their parents had to move to find work. And that was obviously very detrimental to the kids and their education, especially at a young age. And so I didn't know necessarily at that moment that I wanted to run for office, but I knew that I wanted to do something that could help contribute to broader change. I ended up going back to business school and getting an MBA, not necessarily because I wanted to spend my whole career in business, but because I wanted to learn more about how the financial system works so that I could be a part of trying to make the financial system work better for more people. And so I got my MBA, I ended up moving back to Rhode Island. I got a job working at an investment firm, but within a few years, I had become active in politics. And when I saw that the treasurer's office was opening up because the treasurer at the time, Gina Raimondo, was leaving the treasurer's office to run for governor, there was an opening in the treasurer's office, and I thought, okay, this is a chance for me to use my financial background and also my passion for public service and social justice to try to make the state a better place. I was 31 years old. I had never run for political office before, but we worked hard at it and we got lucky and won. And since I took office in 2015, I've been working hard every day to try to use the treasurer's office to strengthen the state's economy and to expand opportunity for more Rhode Islanders. And I wouldn't trade it for the world.
That's awesome. Juliet Efemer from Cumberland High School asked if you had any advice for high school students who are pursuing future careers and pursuing their goals in college.
Yeah, I'd say a couple of things. First, the academics do matter. I know that that's not the only reason that people go to college, but it is important. And so, continue to study hard. I probably don't need to say that to this group. You all obviously know how to study hard, or else you wouldn't be getting these awards. But continue to focus on the academics. But then, what I'd also say is one of the best parts of the college experience is the connections that you build with students and with faculty. So with faculty, for example, like go to the office hours, even if you don't need them, right? Even if you aren't that worried about whatever test you're studying for, go to the office hours anyway. Go to coffee with the professors once we're allowed to, go to coffee more again. And build those connections because, even now that I'm, well into my 30s and I've been out of college for nearly 2 decades, I still have old professors that I call, that I ask for advice on different things. And so that's useful. And then, same thing, with your peers and your students. I'm sure, you will have a core friend group most likely, but really make an effort to get to know as many people as you can and stay in touch with them. And after you get out of college, keep those contacts active, because when you do move into leadership roles, and some of you, you already are running businesses and running nonprofit organizations, but when you get to the point where you do enter the workforce, you're going to need a network of people to help you out. And so use the college experience to start to build your network and get to know lots of different people, and then just be purposeful about staying in touch with them.
Will Farley from Rogers High School, who, as you might remember, is a business owner himself already, wondered if you had any advice for young business owners.
Yeah, I'd say don't be afraid to fail. Like, take risks. I think it takes a lot of guts to put yourself out there and to start a business at any age, but especially at a young age. And not everything is going to work out right away, right? You're going to hit some pitfalls along the way, but look at them as learning experiences. And I know it's a very hard time right now to be running any kind of business, with the recession happening, but I think my best advice is go into it with the attitude that not everything's going to be perfect all at once. You're going to have pitfalls along the way, but what really I think makes or breaks any business is the ability of the founder and the business owner in those early years to stay resilient and to not let those early pitfalls cause you to give up too quickly. So that, I think that would be my advice is in those early years, budget some of your own mental and emotional energy for the fact that like there are going to be some failures along the way, and it's your ability to bounce back from those that's really going to make the difference.
All right. Spencer Wood from Bishop Hendricken asked for your strategy on making financial literacy a high school graduation requirement.
Yeah, thank you, Spencer. This is something that I believe in very strongly. There's a lot of research that shows that when students have personal finance education in high school, and most of you have probably taken personal finance classes, but this is how to make a budget, how to save, how to borrow, how to invest. When students have personal finance education in high school, it leads to better outcomes later in life. So students that have had financial education in high school are later in life more likely to have higher savings, lower debt, higher credit scores, lower likelihood of ever having to take out a payday loan. And so it's important knowledge and an important skill set because it leads to better outcomes in adulthood. That is why 37 states have made financial education a statewide requirement in their curriculums. Rhode Island, unfortunately, right now is not one of those states. There are some school districts that have gone ahead and made it a requirement. There are some high schools that have made it a requirement, but we do not have a statewide requirement yet the way most other states do. So every year, for 3 years in a row now, we've put in a bill at the legislature in the State House to institute a statewide personal finance requirement. Last year, the bill passed the state Senate unanimously. It did not pass the House of Representatives. We were all geared up to try again this year, and then the legislature had to stop meeting because of COVID-19 and social distancing. But we're going to keep pushing. We got halfway there last year, getting it through the Senate, and we're going to keep pushing when the legislature comes back to get it the rest of the way there. I will also say that I've had some great conversations with the new Education Commissioner, Angelica Infante-Green. She's very much in favor of making personal finance universal in Rhode Island so that all students can take it. The governor is very supportive as well. So I do believe that we will get it done. We just got to keep working at it. And I'll tell you, the thing that is the most helpful, if any of you are looking to help us in this effort, is to reach out to your legislators, your state representative or your state senator, and let them know why you think it's important. So students, teachers, anyone who's watching, if you'd like to help us, having a good conversation for a state representative or a state senator, having a good conversation with a student or a teacher from their community is as impactful as 50 conversations with a state treasurer. Like having those conversations with you will be really helpful in order to get them on our side. So thank you for the question.
And Treasurer, you'll remember that one of our Young Leader Awards tonight, Jack Esowich, was testifying on the bill last year when it was heard. It was a big part of helping us get on
the. Did a great job.
Yeah. Madeline McCarthy from South Kingstown High School asked a really important question. In what ways do you suggest, as a young person living in a predominantly white suburb, can we make meaningful and impactful change for the Black community financially?
That's a very good question. A few things. I think that this is a period in time where it's especially important that white Americans, myself included, do a lot of listening. we need to really listen hard to the experiences that people of color in this country, and in particular African Americans, the experiences that they're having and the barriers that they are experiencing to becoming successful. And those barriers may exist in multiple walks of life, you know, in the criminal justice system, in the economic system, the legal system, in government. But start by, you know, practicing being a very good listener. And then to the extent that you're able to on social media or otherwise, amplify those voices. So it's not just about, you know, for those of us that are white, it's not just about our opinions. It's about using our platform to amplify those other voices that too often get stifled or get left out of the mix. Once you get a little further along in life, and I know that you personally are already a business owner, but once you get to the point where you're hiring people and you're making decisions about who you contract with and who you do business with in your organizations, I think it's important to be mindful of the need to diverse teams in your organizations and also to support businesses and organizations that are owned by people of color. So, you know, as you grow your business, think about who your suppliers are, think about who your distributors are, and make sure that your partners in business are diverse as well. And then get involved in the political process. You know, all of you should be reaching the age where you're able to register to vote. In fact, I believe in Rhode Island you can register at 16 now. You can vote at 18. So register to vote, get involved, and make your voice heard that way. So, you know, I don't think there's any one silver bullet. I don't think there's any one thing that on its own will make the difference. It's all of those things, but it really starts with listening and trying to hear the experiences of people who are facing barriers that the rest of us are, you know, privileged to not to have to face ourselves.
As we're getting into summer, someone has a really good question. Does your office offer internships?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Yes, we do offer internships, and this is usually part of my pitch every year, so thank you for reminding me with the question. We do offer internships. We offer internships in the summer and in the fall and in the spring, so it's a 3-part cycle. We typically only offer internships to college students, but I would say, you know, most of you will be in college a year and a half from now, and so keep us in mind. Reach out to the Treasurer's office. We offer internships in our investments division, in the State House, where we work on policy, you know, some of our accounting functions. So absolutely, please keep us in mind. Once you get to college, if you're looking for an internship, reach out to the State Treasury, and we would love to be able to support our young leaders as you continue to develop.
Well, Treasurer, I know we're getting short on time, so I wondered if you wanted to offer your final congratulations to all of our award winners.
I will. I'll say once again, congratulations to all of you. Very, very impressive group. Very proud to be associated with each of you. I know it's been a challenging year. Summer is very, very close. You're almost there. And I say that not only to the students, but to the teaching as well. But I'll just end where I began, that we are taking the time and the energy to do this because we believe in each of you and we want to contribute to your success. And we are confident that whatever field you choose to go into, you will find a way to use your skill and your success to help others. So to each of you, once again, congratulations, stay in touch, and we look to continuing to watch the wonderful you all do. So have a good night, everyone. And a big thank you to Leanne Byrne, Patrick Griffin, Randy Wright from our office for organizing this event. Thank you all, and good night.